Hi boys and girls, it's Mr. Ran again. I'm ready to do our second ELA lesson with you this week. This week we're going to be learning about theme. Do you guys remember what a theme is in a story? Well, if you forgot, I'm going to tell you right now. A theme is what the lesson learned is. Usually the characters are going to learn the lesson through a problem or conflict and how they overcome it. So for example, standing up for what you believe in is a theme, or never give up, or never judge a book by its cover. There's many more I'm sure that you can think of that you've remembered from other stories. Now let's get ready to read our learning target and our objectives for this lesson. I want you to read aloud the learning target with me. Using details in the text to identify the theme of a story will help you understand the story's important message or lesson. Let's go to the next section titled Read. Most story authors want to share an important message or lesson about people or life called the theme. Normally, authors do not state the theme directly. Instead, they expect their readers to infer the theme from what happens in the story. To figure out the theme of a story, look for details that show what the characters do, say, think, and feel. Think about how the characters solve their problems and what can be learned from their experiences. So remember, when you read a story, think about what happens to the main character and ask yourself, what did the character learn from his or her experience? Thinking about the important events in the story will help you figure out or infer the theme, and this will all help you gain a deeper understanding of the story. The directions at the top say, to read the cartoon below, find details that help you figure out the theme shown in the cartoon. In the first picture, it has a speech bubble that says, I've never done this before. You see that he looks like his hands are on his face, his knees are inward. I would say that's a nervous stance. In the second picture, you see that he's gone down the slide. I see kind of a face of relief. He looks a little happy, holding on, a little nervous, but having fun. Now in the third picture, in the last speech bubble, it says, wow, that was so fun. I can't wait to go again. Remember, we're trying to figure out the theme. Let's go to the next page and break apart our thoughts to identify the theme of this picture. The directions say think. What have you learned about how details help to develop the theme of a story? Think about the important details you identified in the cartoon. Complete the theme chart to identify the theme of the cartoon. So the first question it's asking us is who's the character? I go back to the picture. I don't see a name of the character, but I see that it's a boy. And when I look at the boy, we identified how he was standing would give us a feeling of how he was feeling. So I put on there, he is a scared young boy. He's standing at the top of a water slide, and he has a terrified look on his face, and his knees are pointed inward. Now let's go to the bubble below it. While I'm thinking of this, it says, what is the character's problem? Well, if I know that he's scared and on top of the water slide, I would say the problem is that the boy is afraid because he has never gone down a water slide before. The text doesn't say that in the picture, but I can infer that because he's scared. He wouldn't be scared if he had done it before, right? Okay, let's go to the third box. It says, what does the character learn? So because of his problem that he was scared, he still went down it in the second picture, and in the second picture, I see that I can infer that he is not as scared because of the look on his face. So then at the end, what does he learn? Well, the boy learns that going down the slide is fun, not scary, and we know he learned that because he wants to do it again. So now overall, thinking about who the character is, what's the problem, what does the character learn, I want to think of a theme of the cartoon. An example I have is that it takes courage to try new things. Another theme could be facing your fears can be rewarding. I want you guys to know that there are multiple themes that can be accepted for every passage. So now that I have talked you through the chart, I'm going to show you my answers written down. Please pause the video and write down your answers as well. Once you finish writing down your answers, click play again, and let's keep going through our next passage together. Today you will read a fable about bravery. First, you'll read to understand what the author says with me. Let's read together. The title says, The Two Travelers. Two men planned a trip that would take them through wild, lonely country. They promised that if they met with danger, they would stand by each other. To the end, said the first man. To the end, said the second man. They traveled only a short distance when a bear rushed out of the woods at them. The first man, as soon as he saw the bear, rushed to a tree and climbed it as quickly as he could. The other man, who was slower to see the bear, realized he had no time to escape. He fell to the ground, pretending to be dead. The bear came over to the man on the ground. The animal sniffed and smelled the traveler. The bear put his face right up to the man's ear. But the man held his breath, and soon, losing interest, the bear walked away. When the bear was safely out of sight, the first traveler slid down the tree and walked over to his companion, who was now sitting by the side of the road. Well, that was a close one, wasn't it? The first man said. What did the bear say when he had his mouth to your ear? It's no secret, growled the man. He said I should never again believe anything said by a coward like you. Now let's go to the next page and answer some questions to figure out the theme of this story. Let's start by reading the Explore question together. How do the details about the story characters and events help to develop the theme in The Two Travelers? Remember, students, the author isn't just going to state the theme directly. That means they're not just going to say, the theme is blank. Instead, you have to infer using the characters' words, actions, and story events about what the theme is. So we're going to break it down into steps with these questions. The first question has two parts. What do the characters promise each other as the story opens? What happens that creates a problem for the characters? Pause this video and answer those two questions, then click play when you finish. My answers are on the screen. First, I said the characters promise each other that they will stand by one another if they meet danger. Then what happens is that a bear rushes out of the woods. If you got both answers correct, good job. Let's go to the next part. Now, question 2. How does each character attempt to solve the problem? What does the first man do? What does the second man do? And question number 3. At the end of the story, what has the second man learned about the first man's promises? Again, pause the video, answer the questions, then click play. Now let's check our answers. I said the first man climbed up a tree, the second man fell to the ground and pretended to be dead, and then at the end, the lesson learned from the second man is that he learned that the man lied. So we know that he did not intend to stand by the second man if they were met with danger. Please read aloud with me. Claudine's tack attack. For 3 long years, the Nazis had occupied France. By now, everyone in my village was used to German trucks driving through carrying ammunition and supplies to the front to supply Nazi soldiers in their battles against the American troops. From her window, my friend Claudine and I watched glumly as the trucks roared and rumbled by. Too bad we can't slow them down, I remarked one day. Claudine's eyes became thoughtful. Maybe we can. She shared her idea, and we ran to her father's workshop. These might work, she announced, holding out a can of short, extremely sharp steel tacks. Papa uses them to shingle roofs. Heading back to the road, I had second thoughts. How could 2 11-year-olds slow down a war machine with a bunch of tacks? Still, I followed Claudine up the hill to a spot above the road and crouched behind an old stone wall. All too soon, we heard the rumble of engines, so we raced to the road. Like this, whispered Claudine. She began flinging handfuls of tacks onto the pavement, so I threw handfuls too. Then, just in time, we ducked out of sight. Blam! The exploding tire sounded like a gunshot. Then another blam! 2 blowouts, Claudine whispered as we crept away. After dark, we crept back toward the road. The German soldiers were still struggling with the heavy rubber tires. Better yet, the road was so narrow that the other trucks could not pass. Claudine and I had delayed 12 trucks for half the day. Let's read the questions together. Number 1. Which statement best explains why the girls wanted to slow down the German trucks? A. The girls did not want the Nazi trucks to take French supplies back to Germany. B. The girls wanted to make trouble for the German troops who were occupying France. C. The girls wanted to help the American troops steal German supplies that were being carried on the trucks. D. The girls wanted to slow down trucks delivering supplies to soldiers who were fighting American troops. Number 2. Which statement best describes how events in paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 are important to the theme of the story? A. They show that the girls grew tired of looking out a window. B. They show that the girls passed up a chance to be brave. C. They show that the girls' dangerous risk paid off. D. They show that the girls' clever plan was only temporary. Okay, boys and girls, so last week I gave you the answers to our independence section, but this week I'm going to hold the answers until my Zoom call. So my Zoom call, it's a video chat call that was going to happen on April 23rd at 12 p.m. I'm going to text all your parents the link so you can get on the video call with me. On that call, we're going to go over the answers from the Claudines Tack Attack and from Sir Irving. So I want you to do all the questions to both of those passages so you can come ready for our video chat, and then I'll walk you through how to do your quick check so that you can get a shout out from me on my next video. I love you guys so much.